Not too many people know about the canal era in this country. At the time, this was considered more efficient than the roads, which were highly unreliable. They were bumpy and you could not haul as much on a road. Each boat had 2 teams of 2 mules. The job of the mules was to keep pulling those boats from Cumberland to Georgetown and back again. It was called a tow line that was tied to 2 mules, and then the tow line would be tied to a cleat on the boat. The mules worked in something called a trick. Nowadays we would call it a shift. So the morning mules might pull for about 6 or 8 hours, then you'd have the next team.
There's a front cabin where the mules live, just all crammed. Not much privacy. Mules are cheaper to buy and feed and maintain. They're less prone to illness or injury, more sure-footed. They have tougher skin. There's many advantages. They're longer lived.
This is Eva the mule.
She's really sweet. Hi, baby doll.
Most of the people who worked on the canal, they were called Canallers, and that was sort of a derogatory term. The captain would own the boat, he'd bring along his wife, and they'd have a few children to help them run the operations. The main job for the children was walking with the mules. And you needed somebody to walk with the mules, otherwise eventually the mules will stop and they'll have some grass or eat some leaves and they'll just stop pulling the boat. This is pretty much what a canaler might be wearing, except for this hat. This hat might be a little bit too big. My glasses are a little too modern too. My teeth are a little, maybe too white. They would probably be considered today the working poor. They made enough money to get by. For us, it would probably be a very, very difficult life. Being a child on the boat, if you were 3 or 4 or 5, was kind of a dangerous place. You could fall in. And if your mother was doing some chores and she couldn't watch you, they would put you in a harness with a chain, and they might affix the chain to a little ring on the roof of the boat so the children could play on the roof without fear of falling in. You would load up at Cumberland. You would position your boat underneath this railway trestle, and the hopper cars would drop their coal into the boat. Once you were fully loaded, you come down the canal. It'd take about 5 to 7 days. You'd go through all 74 lift locks. You might do about 2 or 3 miles an hour on the canal. The Baltimore and Ohio Railroad and the advent of trains really put an end to the canal building era in the United States. This is the tiller arm. This goes down to the rudder, and this is how you steer the boat. If I want the boat to go off to the left, I move the tiller arm to the right. If I want the boat to go to the right, I move the tiller arm off to the left. It was a much slower way of life.